Hello and welcome back to another session. This is part 3 of how to make Lao meatballs, right? I'm gonna play with the camera here. I don't have any help, so I am going to kind of turn things around. What we have here is this ground pork or this food processed pork and the meat part. We are going to stir it a little bit, so I'm going to show you that we have two. I brought two out. I actually ran an errand and I came back, so that one's a little too cold, too frozen. So I had this one taken out and this one's soft. As you can see, you can still add it in here. I'm going to mix the ingredients together again. There's two of this. While we're doing that, let me show you what I got. I also have two big pots out here. As you can see, you need two pots. So you can see this pot here, this is non-stick, so I like this one. It doesn't have to be non-stick, but you put water in it, boil it high, and then when it's boiling, like this one, it's already hot. So I'm going to turn this down to low. You want the process to be low so the ball rise up. So this one, the second one, once the meatball rise up or floats, once it's partially cooked, once it rise up, you move the whole batch into the next pot. As you can see in this one, it can be a little higher. It will be low medium on this one. You don't want it too high because the higher the heat, your meatballs will crack or bust and it's overcooked. So you want it to slowly cook. The first one is just you want it to rise up, float, and then once you have that batch, you'll move the whole batch to cook there for about another 10 to 15 minutes. So that's the second pot's for. You don't have to have this big two pots. You can have a medium size. It all depends on how you want to do it. And some people even do 5 pounds each and then save the other 5 pounds for another time. But I like to get it over with because it's already a mess. As you can see, this is part 3. So this is already turned down to low, medium, and this is low. And the only thing that you put in this pot is the whole black peppercorn. Okay, we'll put this in here, and just estimate. I would say maybe I would do a tablespoon and a half there, just so it has that scent. Peppercorn. I do it on both. So you leave it there. Let it boil, soak it in, season it in, put that away. All right, what do you need besides that? You need a bowl of cold water and you need a tablespoon. This is the Chinese stainless steel tablespoon. I'm gonna try it with this for you to see. This is a tablespoon too. I usually use this because it's easier to scoop out of your hand. But we're gonna try both just in case you don't have the other spoon. These are the 2 tablespoons top side. Okay, I tilt the camera this way so you can see the process on the first pot. The second pot, I will put in as full as I can in that pot. That way it cooks evenly. So you say. As much as you can. All right, I'm mixing this up. As we say, it's a little still on the cold side here because I left it too long. Left it for over an hour and then took it out. I asked my husband to take one out and put it in the refrigerator, and the other one was still in the freezer, so I'm gonna leave that one out, let it thaw out a little bit. Mix it up. so the ingredients will get in here all together. It's supposed to be just on the cold chill side. Some of this is too frozen. Oops. All right, get that out. I think you're seeing the pot too much, so I'm going to turn the pot this way. There we go. Okay, I'm going to leave that here. I'm going to wash my hands in a minute. Get some napkins ready to go. And you can wet your napkin a little bit just so you have something to wipe. So I have my water over here next to it. Get it together in the corner. And that's on low. I have a step, by the way. So the process is the more you do this, the better you will be better at it. So you're gonna use your hand, and I'm sure there's a machine out there. And then I've seen it where they do 3 at a time. So I'm gonna try the traditional American spoon. So you grab meat and you shape it into a ball with your fingers, your thumb and your index fingers, and you have it pretty smooth, and you take it out this way and you put it in here. And this is why you need water. I have water. Once you're done, you put it in the water. It works too. As you can, I think you see the meatballs floating. And you want your hand to be really clean. And you want the ball not too big. Some people make it big. Some people make it a little smaller. It's a little bit messy, but play with it. Your ball might not be as pretty at first, but no worries. Hey, you got it. I'm going to use my other spoon. As you can see, it's floating in there. You can be consistent. The ball doesn't have to be consistent on the same size, but shape my hand. See, you scrape this off your hand. That way it's clean. You might have to kind of squeeze it. You're basically squeezing it and then let it come out. Practice. Again, it may not be the same shape. As you see the spoon, it make it stick to the spoon here. You rinse it in water. You got to do it fast because you want the meat to cook around the same time. Some people do it where they don't have to re-squeeze this. You can bring it up. Again, it's a little messy. If you're the beginner, it will take you time. Don't give up. You'll be fast in no time. Okay, I think I got meat in there. See, you can make it as big as this, but I don't. Let me show you. Oh, I don't want the meat to come out. Here, let me show you. You grab the meat and you push it out like that into a shape. Then you take it out. Let's do it one more time. Here's that. You want it to make it sometimes the first one doesn't work. You have to do this. And you scrape it out with this. All the way through your hand like that. And then it looks like this. You put it down. And then you soak the water in cold water because you don't want anything to stick. Then your balls will look ugly. All right, let's do this again. Okay, here's this. Grab the meat and you squeeze it and cut it all the way through your hand, using your hand as a border or as a partition. Here we go again. All the way through, see, and then put it down here. See, it doesn't stick, but every time you do it, you're done, just go ahead and get in that cold water. I think there's a machine that that you hold it and then 3 balls comes out. I seen that, and if you have or know of something easier, please let me know. I think there's a machine that they use too, but that's more commercial, and I can't afford them yet. But maybe someone can make it for me. But if you're gonna do this to sell, yes, you need that, because it's very time consuming to do this one at a time here, of course. So I make my own meatballs when we have pho day for my friends. I don't buy meatballs anymore. I take that back. There's times I buy it because I don't have it and I don't want to make it. But then if you make it yourself, you know exactly the ingredients that goes in there. Play some music. It's a little cold. My hand is cold, which is good. You want it cold. And as you can see, they are floating up because we got baking powder there, right? And the accord is the one that it shapes it into a ball, or it hardens it. Okay, let's move this out of the way. I probably need a spatula after that. My goal is to fill this up as much together as I can. If you know, of course, it's not going to cook all together evenly because you're putting it separately. You have to shape the ball a couple times. If you shape it the first time, it may work, but may not be pretty smooth. And if you're gonna add peppers, like pepper balls, just the whole pepper that, peppercorn in here, you can. People do that, but I don't like it. I don't want to bite into it. However, the tendon, you can cut it up, and this is where you put it in here. Don't put it and mix it up. Uh-oh, it's getting a little frozen, so it's not shaping. And if you need to clean your hand right here, your fingers, just use this to scrape it off, because you want it to be, you don't want any meat up on the top, because then it'll shape into the ball and go into the pot with you. That's why you see me clean it up right there. Like I said, there's many recipes out there. This is the one I find it worked for me. It's from my cousin, and I added extra water because I didn't like the original recipe on some, and you know, you can cut back if you taste it and you feel like, oh, it's too salty or it needs more sugar. Go ahead, add, you know, modify it. Then to your liking. Okay, I think, let me see, it's almost full. And the meatballs they're a little frozen. The meat's still frozen a little bit. You want it cold, but you don't want it freeze up. I can do this less than an hour, but for beginner, I would encourage you to just do one, maybe 5 pounds each, and then maybe save do in a smaller pot, and then save the other 5 pounds for another time. That way you can practice again. if the meat is frozen, it's hard to shape. You want the meat to be just right, cold, but not frozen. I hope you're taking notes. Leave me some comments if you have questions. And I apologize if I take too long to answer the question. I'll try my best to read up some comments. And then if you have any questions, or if you are doing it and it's to the perfection and you like it, leave me that comment too. So it's full. Okay, this is how you scrape the meat off from your hand. You can use this, you can use a spatula, and then that way I can take my gloves off. You might have to change gloves here too, here and there. Instead of just washing your hands, just get a new glove. You can do that too. Squeeze that out, squeeze that out. Okay, scoop this in. Now I'm going to take my gloves out. Actually, I'm going to throw this set away, and I'm going to look at this meatball. My hands is cold. See, it's red compared to this. That's red because it's cold. Okay, I'm back. How do you get these small meatballs out, right? You can use this, a strainer. This is a small. I have a big one too. So get whatever size you have. I'm gonna use a big one. Wanted to show you. Okay, you want to be gentle with the meat. As you can see, the meat is still red there. That means it's not cooked, and you don't want to do too much with that. Okay, so you've seen the meat. There you go. Some of them are still red, as you can see right there. Red, and then some of them are cooked because it's from the beginning. See, it looks like that. But you can tell it's not cooked inside yet. So that's why you don't want it to be overcooked. I mean, not overcooked, but high heat, and then it will not shape the ball to its fullest. So I'm gonna take it out like this. Some of my peppercorn will go with it. It's okay. So I'm gonna switch it to this side so you can see both. I have a big stove, so if you have a small stove, you might want to use a smaller pot. It doesn't matter. Do whatever you have. So I'm gonna put them in there. See that? Sorry, I'm just working with one camera here. I don't have any help. Move all of this over. Sometimes you can bring the peppercorn back. And it's gonna continue to cook here. So I can continue to shape the balls and let it float, make it into shape before you move it on to the other pot. And that's where it's gonna continue to cook. Okay, that's gonna be how I time it. Let's see, it's 15 minutes, okay? It's 43, so you got about 17 minutes to the hour. I'm gonna put this here, and I'm gonna continue to shape while that one's cooking. You kind of watch it, and you can use a glove to do that too. It's a little bit messy, but let me get more gloves. You actually just need one because you're really not using the other hand as much. And you want your hands to be wet a little bit so it doesn't stick. Get tight gloves because you got to shape the balls. It has to be tight. Let's go back and practice some more for you. So I have my water here in a bowl, and continue. Okay. So just time it where about 15 minutes on the other pot. That way, you know, it's cooked. But I will show you how to check. I mean, it might not be 100%, but you will be cooking it again when you about to eat, because it's going to be frozen, it's going to be cold. When you make your pho, you're going to put it in, you're going to cut in half, or you can put the whole thing in there, so it'll be cooked again. But you want this to be cooked. But if you miss a little bit, it's fine. But they say that it's not good for you not to fully cook. It may spoil. That's the reason why we want it cooked completely. If you need to go back and watch the video on the slow motion in terms of my hands, please do, but practice makes perfect. See, I squeeze and then take it out. I cut through my, not scrape it to the bottom of my skin. Use that as a wall. The other pot still cooking. It's time consuming, but it's worth it when you eat your meatballs with any kind of soup base. Or you can just do it plain as appetizer and do the sauce. But I like mine in khao piak, which is the rice noodle soup. The bun can, kind of like in Vietnamese name. Khao piak is what we call ours. You can make khao piak rice soup, or the noodles chicken soup. And I cut this in half and put it in there. It's good. And then for pho, of course, you can cut it in half, or you can just serve as a whole. And you might have, some people like to split it and on the top, just the 4 ways, so it looks pretty. You could do that too. But I'm really near the pot here, so I'll move a little bit. My hands are hot. My arms are hot. It's great when you have a party, or make it, give to your friends, sell it to your friends, family, customer. But if you sell this, when they might say that it's too expensive, because if they get it at the supermarket, it might be less expensive. I think it's like $6 for, I don't know, not even a pound. But because this is 10 pounds altogether, and with all the ingredients, it probably come up to like maybe 13 pounds. I think I sell 2 pounds for $25, so it's worth it because of your hard work. I mean, the overhead, the cost of the ingredients. It's homemade, and that's why what people pay for, or they appreciate. But if you want to make it, make it. It's very rewarding. All right, let's get some spatula here. You want to make sure you get all the meat. So scrape them off from your bowl. use a spatula here. Let's turn this way. See that? Here's a spatula. Towards the end of the bottom, the first pot or bowl. Or you could just add this to the next bowl to make it easier. Towards the end, I'll show you how to shape the ball. I'll show it to this one because you might not watch it to the next one. Okay, so you have this much left. Let me see if I can make a ball from here. If not, you would have to do this. Get the water. You would have to do this and then kind of go against your gloves. And then you put it in. I mean, you can do that too, but it takes too long. I'm using my other hand here with no gloves. So I'm gonna take this, put it over here, and I'm gonna take this bowl to the sink. Oh, ooh, never mind. There's a lot more back here. I'm just gonna put it on the other bowl. Okay, move that. Wash my hands, and you can change your water. See that water is a little cloudy. Get more water, and let's check the pot. It is kind of low. You can move it up a little bit. And let's check this pot over here. How's this one going? You got some time left. Some of them are still red. You can probably see it. Let me show you. Ow. See that it's a little pink right there? That means it's not cooked all the way inside. Kind of stir it, go this way to it. There we go. Stir it this way. It's still on low medium. That way it is your okay, and this one. This pot is a little thicker than that pot. Okay. Let me stir this one with this. It's all the same. This one's still pink. A lot of pink. Let's move over to fill this side up. See, it's not full yet, so I'm gonna try to make it fuller. Let's see. Let's see how cold it is now. See if I can do it. Don't have glove on this side. See, it's a little firm. Maybe I'll stop for now and let that one cook, because if I put new meatballs in there, it will not cook at the same pace. So I'm gonna stir this to get the meat together there, so it's no clumped. Put this here for now. See, it looks like it's ice. But I don't want to do it another day. I want to get it done today. So that's why I have it next to the stove. So it can defrost. At least you're seeing some of my mistakes here, so you don't do it. If it's frozen, look, it's in piece and you're not going to be able to shape it. So you have to make sure that it defrosts there. I have to change the water here. Okay, let me use this hand to mix it. It's all frozen at the bottom. Oh. And if you have it in the freezer too long, it'll take a while to defrost before you can shape it. Let me get another glove. See what I can do here. Okay, I'm back. Look, gotta close the garbage cabinet. Wash my hands again. Okay, let's see. What can I do? Drop a spoon while that's cooking. Let me see if I can shape this or smush this together. I mean, I can put it in the back in the in the food processor, but I don't want to do that. It's already clean. Even the chef doesn't have it all perfect, you can tell. They just don't show it to you, but this is part of trying error. That's why the max time in the freezer should be no more than an hour. 30 minutes. If you feel like it's cold, that's good enough. You don't want it to be frozen, then you can't deal with it. Okay, it's better. Oh, my hand's cold. I guess commercially they would do the mixing. They have the machine that squeeze it out so you don't see the imperfection. You see it here. I'm gonna wash my hands again. Up the spoon that I dropped. Wash my hands again. Whew. Let's put the spatula here. Put this up. Move this here. You can't see my bowl, but it's back here. Okay, let's check on this. Count check. I got about 3-4 minutes there. See, if you don't turn this, it leaves the top. It's still pink right there, right? You might make sure that you turn this. We'll kind of stir it a little bit so it gets them moving around. Let me check on the other one. I'm not going to do another batch yet because we want them to cook together. Okay. So this one, let's look at that one. Okay. Clean, my hand is wet. Let's dry it out. Okay. So how do you, the last step, I'm gonna show you, I'm gonna cut this out. The last step is you can use a big bowl, the earlier one I have, but this is cold water. You can put ice in here too, which I will. So that's how you transfer from this to let it stop the cooking process. Be careful here. Ice. Just put a little bit of it so it's cold. So you have this ice cold water. Leave on this side. And I'm going to show you how to cut it and check it. Drink water. Okay. Wow, this is still cooking. No space. Let's get the biggest one. Let's find the biggest one. And we're gonna take it out and I'm gonna cut it in half and see. Now, this is a hit and miss, but it's 15 minutes. And that's the reason why I said it should be done. This one's pretty big, so let's take it. And I'm gonna put it here. Don't move, don't move. Okay. I'm gonna cut it. Huh. Here, down here. I can't cut it. Just cut it in half, just to see. And you want it to be white. See, there's no pink inside. You can see how you squeeze it in? It's pretty flexible. I bet it tastes good. So you see the holes there? That's fine too. This is cooked already. Put it back, and I'm gonna show you another one, how it bounced. This is the accord, and also the, I guess the baking powder. It's gonna soften up a little bit, but see it bounce like a ball? There you go. It's bouncy. Put it back in hot water. So you don't have to really test it, but as long as that's how I check it on each batch, because sometimes again, you make sure you cook it together, right? So it cooks. As you can see, this is how it looks, and I'm gonna transfer it to the cold water. I tried to bring the pepper back. It's gonna go in there anyway. So even some of these, the pepper got into it. They leave a little hole, but that's okay. As you know, that's homemade. Put this in here. Okay, now that you're done with that, let's move this meatballs from here to here so it continue to cook. I bet you this one's not gonna cook for 15 minutes, but whenever I get done with that, I'll check on this one. And we'll cut it in half again. Because I see some pink in this one too, because it's slowly cooking, right? This one is more on a medium, low to medium. This is low. So it cooked more. I can see that it's not cooked. If I cut this in half now, you can see there's pink in there. You know, get an idea of that. Okay, let's start this process. While that one sitting in a cold water, let's do that. Move my towel, it's clean. Wet my hand. And we are going to shape the balls again. Wow. Still frozen a little bit, but it's harder to do when it's like that because you have to shape it many times. Move this over. As you continue to do it, it'll soften up. May not be as pretty. Well, since I am doing it for you to see already the first time, it's all about speed now. For me. Watch other recipes too out there to see different variations of how people make it. I would say the shaping part is about the same. The ingredients maybe differ, but I think most of them, if not all, does use potato starch. They find that better. Maybe not the whole bag, I've seen some recipe that they don't use the whole bag. Whatever works. Try it all just to see which one you like. I guess the bigger shape you have, the longer it'll cook. So just remember that. Some people would want to make it this big. Look at that. This is big, but I'm not going to do it. Mine's pretty consistent, but I wouldn't say it's 100%. That's why if you sell it, just weigh it. £10 is a lot to make, by the way. You don't want to do 20 pounds. It's tiring. Unless you have some help. this a little bit. Let's check on the other pot. This is cooked too. I'm gonna cook it for 5 more minutes. 5 more minutes. Let's drain the other one. This one is, I'm gonna drain this and change water. I'm getting water in the pot. This is what it looks like. My hands are clean. You want it to dry, let it drain before you bag them. So here's what it looks like. Beautiful meatballs. There's that. Show you. Let's see how these look. As you can see, there you go. See, it's not perfectionist, but then it looks good. Cold water, add ice. This. This one didn't shape pretty. I think it's the frozen one. But it'll be good. There's gonna be a couple ugly shape, but that's okay. I may have more here, but this one right here is not as pretty, but it's okay. It's not, the rest of these are pretty round. I think I have the last batch to do, so it's about 4 times here. Okay, back to the shaper. massage the meat again. Ta-da! Keep your station clean. My hand's still a little red on this side because it's cold. You can see. Ah. Okay, let's take a look at this. See pink? Pinkish. Let's turn down. Let's check this pot. I think I made a lot on the other pot, so that's justified that this one should cook. But let's cut them anyway, just to check. Let's cut one. Find the biggest one, or find one. I like to find the ugly one, by the way. Let's see, where's the ugly one? I think this one. One of them anyway. Let's pick that one. Ooh, stay. And it's cooked. Ta-da! Don't want to drop this. Put that in there. Put this over here. Well, I have to... See, this is dry now, which is good. I drained it. So I'm gonna put them in a pot or a bowl. Let's drain the other one. I was gonna taste one for you to see. It's still hot. The water should be tasty. Okay. Delicious, always. Follow the recipe, you'll love it. It tastes delicious. Okay, I'm gonna turn it back here. We can come back to see the finished product. Sorry.